Have you ever wondered if there's a blueprint for a better life? I mean, not just some abstract philosophy, but a real, practical, step-by-step guide to getting everything from personal dignity and wealth to strong communities and, inner peace. Well, in this explainer, we're going to dive deep into a pretty remarkable part of the Maharata Sutra to uncover exactly that, an ancient blueprint that feels like it was made for modern life.
Now, these aren't just some casual questions. These are the deepest desires of the human heart, asked thousands of years ago. But here's the kicker. The person who posed these huge questions to the Buddha wasn't some seasoned monk or a great scholar. Nope. The source of this profound inquiry was an 8-year-old girl.
So picture this. The scene is set on Vulture Peak. A young girl named Miao Hui, who's described as being incredibly wise for her age, walks right up to the Buddha. And she doesn't ask about toys or games. No, she asks the kind of questions that define what it means to be human.
Okay, let's really get into this. Miao Hui's questions are basically our questions. How can I be a positive presence in the world? How do I find security and get some genuine respect? How can I build relationships that actually last? And, overcome my own inner junk? She just gave voice to these timeless goals that we all have.
So in response, the Buddha doesn't offer up some single, super complex philosophical idea. Instead, what he reveals is this surprisingly practical and consistent framework. For every single one of Miao Hui's 10 questions, he gives a clear 4-part answer. It's like a repeatable blueprint for success.
What's so fascinating about this is its structure. This isn't about blind faith. It's a system of cause and effect. The sutra literally gives it to us as a formula. A bodhisattva accomplishes 4 practices to achieve this specific outcome. It's an actionable guide. You do these 4 things, and a specific, positive result is going to follow. Simple as that. All right, so let's see how this blueprint actually builds out. It starts with our personal lives, the things we want for ourselves. We're going to look at the first 2 sets of these 4 practices, which tackle our hopes for our physical presence and our material well-being.
Miao Hui's first question isn't about vanity. It's not about being conventionally attractive. It's about how to cultivate a presence that's graceful, pleasant, and that puts other people at ease. It's really about how our inner state shows up on the outside.
And this just brilliantly shows the connection between the mind and the body. The Buddha's answer is all internal. Let go of anger. Really live in a state of kindness. Find joy in the truth and honor the ideal of enlightenment. The blueprint is telling us that true dignity isn't something you can put on. It literally radiates from a mind of peace and compassion. Next up, she asks about something we all think about. How can I be secure and earn genuine respect? And this isn't just about money. It's about creating a life of real, sustainable abundance and honor. So here's the crucial point. True wealth isn't created by taking, but by giving with the right intention. It's all about the quality of the act, being timely, being humble, being joyful, and being selfless about it. The blueprint tells us that the very act of unconditional generosity is what builds the foundation for a life of honor and abundance. Now, the Buddha's framework doesn't just stop with the self. It expands outward, giving us a path for building resilient relationships and overcoming all that friction that can tear communities apart. This is the blueprint applied to our social world. This is a vital question for any time, right? How do we build relationships with family, friends, society that are actually strong enough to handle challenges? How do we create a support system that doesn't just fall apart? And notice the progression here. It starts small, with our own words. Just stop the divisive gossip. Then it expands to helping others find a better way of seeing things. Then to protecting timeless wisdom for everyone. And finally, to inspiring everyone toward their highest potential. A strong community is literally built on these unifying, positive, and uplifting actions. And what about our battles, both internal and external? The term demonic influences might sound a little archaic, but think about it in modern terms. Our own negative habits, those self-sabotaging thoughts, toxic environments, and all the external pressures that just hold us back. The Buddha's answer here is basically a formula for building unshakable inner resilience. It's a mix of wisdom, seeing things as they are without judgment, plus proactive effort, plus focused mindfulness on our highest ideals, and a selfless intention that dedicates our own progress to everyone else. You put those together, and you've built an inner fortress that negativity just can't get through. So the Buddha lays out these 4-part answers for all 10 of Miao Hui's questions. We've only touched on the first 4, But she also asks about things like how to always be reborn with the Buddha, how to gain eloquence, how to know your past lives. It's a complete vision of a perfected life. And after hearing all 40 of these practices, the story takes this really dramatic turn. Mihui doesn't just nod along. She listens. She totally gets it. And then she makes this powerful, life-altering commitment.
I mean, just listen to that. This is the vow of an 8-year-old girl. She declares her intention to fully live every single one of these 40 principles. It's a statement of such absolute sincerity, a promise that if she messes up on even one, she would consider it a betrayal of truth itself. And in that moment, the universe just responds. The sutra describes a whole series of miracles that confirm the power of her vow. The earth itself trembles, celestial flowers and music fill the air, and everyone there is bathed in this golden light. It's such a powerful metaphor. A truly sincere intention has the power to literally reshape reality. But just when you think the teaching is complete, the great Bodhisattva Manjushri, who is the embodiment of wisdom, he steps in. And he poses one final, really sharp question to Miaohui, because he wants to know the deeper principle behind her vow and all of these practices. Her answer is just breathtakingly profound. She doesn't say she relies on the rules or on the Buddha or even on her own willpower. She says she relies on non-abiding, the understanding that reality is fluid, interconnected, and fundamentally empty of any fixed separate things. So true practice isn't about rigidly clinging to a method, but about acting from a place of deep wisdom about how reality actually works. And this just reveals the beautiful relationship between practice and insight. The 40 practices are the ladder, the essential, structured method you use to climb. But the ultimate goal, the view from the top, is the wisdom of non-abiding, a state that goes beyond any one method. You absolutely need the ladder to get there, but the destination is not the ladder itself. And that leaves us with a final thought to mull over. Is this blueprint just a tool to get you to a destination, something you can just discard once you've arrived? Or could it be that the sincere moment-to-moment engagement with these practices, the very act of climbing itself, is what wisdom actually looks like in our lives?